A very good evening and welcome to Economic Forum. My name is Lavmo Banda. I hope I find you well. The program, as usual, we look at the various facets of the Zimbabwean economy. That could be agriculture, banking, commerce, industry, mining, you name it. If it is economic, we discuss it on this program. The key enabler for the economy is power. And one of those elements of power is electricity. But we find that often we do not have enough of it or a consistent supply of it. And that hits us at the very least in the domestic setup, where we can't do our cooking, where we can't boil for a cup of tea, where we can watch TV or listen to music or play games or recharge the cell phone. And that may be because the people we expect to supply the power are not doing it, are failing to do it, or are having obstacles. Among them, the theft and vandalism of electricity infrastructure. We want to look at that this evening, and we are going to be talking to a subsidiary of the National Power Company, the Zimbabwe Electricity Supply Authority, and that subsidiary is ZESA Enterprises. They are going to be helping us to unpack the dilemma of electricity in the country, a dilemma that then cascades to a bigger scale as it affects farming. It affects hospitals, for example, where we have deaths because the incubators are not working, the other life-saving machines are not working, drugs that should be kept refrigerated, the refrigerators are not working. So all that we want to discuss with the acting managing director of ZENT, Mr. Burusa Mandipezano. A very good evening. Welcome to the program.
Good evening, Lovemo. Good evening, viewers.
Put us in the picture. What is ZENT?
ZESA Enterprises is a subsidiary of ZESA Holdings. We are a legal persona under the ZESA Holdings stable. Our mandate is to support the electricity industry, in particular our sister companies, ZETDC, ZPC, and Powertel. We manufacture distribution transformers. We repair the distribution transformers. We also do substation construction. We design and construct substation. We also design power lines and construct the power lines as well. We also do other turnkey projects for the electricity industry. That is for ZESA Holdings, and we also do it for external companies. Those that have private lands, we also do work for them. We also support the power industry through other support services, such as the rigging of the same transformers into place, the connections of the transformers, the transportation of the materials into various places around the country or in the region as well. So we do that support services to ZESA Holdings. So that's the enterprises for you.
Now, Mr. Mandipezano, that sounds comprehensive.
Yeah.
And that you supply services and you supply products as well. Mm-hmm. So why is it that the person who has power lines that get into their home, they've got the bulbs and everything, do not always have the electricity? And then those who do not have the power lines to their homes cannot get the power lines to their homes?
I think most of it, if I'm not to talk about our sister company, which is ZETDC, I think the bulk of our challenges has been the support in terms of funding for the projects. I think that has been quite a challenge. I think in this current economic environment, we've had challenges in terms of funding. But I think you understand that even the generation of electricity has quite been on the lower side. Talking of Kariba, talking of other generation plants have not been able to support quite well. But I think you know that I think we've gone for a long time now with the load shedding. I think that one, without delving into much detail, you would understand that for now, we've gone a long way without load shedding.
You talk of your organization as having a footprint also in the SADC energy sector. And that to me says that you have the ability to procure foreign currency, to generate revenue for the larger organization and ultimately, of course, for your principals. What is happening there?
Yeah, we also do support other power utilities in the region. As you know, ZESA is also connected to other power utilities, particularly in the region. So for us to also generate some foreign currency, we sometimes supply products and services to those power utilities around us, so that we can generate some foreign currency to support the local production of electricity.
Where I'm coming from is that would one be right then to say, if we have subsidiaries that have been set up by the holdings company to generate revenue through supplying services and products to the region, and the holdings company still has a shortage of revenue to carry out its principal mandate, which is to supply electricity to those who need it, then organizations like yours are failing?
I wouldn't say that we are failing completely, but we have partially, yes, we've had challenges, certainly, I think, over the years of foreign currency. And this is not particular or peculiar to ZESA Holdings alone or to the subsidiary companies. It's a national problem, or the national challenge, as you know, of foreign currency. So many industries have been affected by shortages of foreign currency. And the same way that these companies have been affected is also the same way that ZESA has been also affected with the foreign currency. But we've been trying to say, if we are supplying transformers, for argument's sake, we can supply transformers locally, but we can also supply part of the transformers externally, so that we can get some foreign currency that is required to get those materials, to get space that can be used to repair the lines, to repair even the other accessories that are needed to give you electricity in your homes. So that has been happening.
We're talking electricity, and as we said at the beginning, it is one of the key enablers for the economy. We will continue to do that in the second segment of Economic Forum. Do join us then. Welcome to the second segment of Economic Forum, where this evening we are talking electricity, and we are doing that with Mr. Burusa Mandipezano. Mandipezano, we are discussing against the background of the worst natural disaster that Zimbabwe has experienced, which is the cyclone Idai. What has been the impact of the cyclone on your organization?
Thanks, Mo. I think it's very unfortunate this disaster came to us. However, we, as ZESA, I would say, overall, we are very much on task to make sure that we restore infrastructure in affected areas. So ZESA, ZETTDC has been very much seized with the reconstruction of lines in that area, and our organization, as you know, the cyclone swept away the lines, swept away the infrastructure in terms of poles, in terms of the transformers. They were swept away. Some I could not even account for them. So we are actually seized at the moment with the manufacturing of transformers that are meant for cyclone Idai hit areas. And I can tell you today we are talking of more than 200 transformers of different sizes that are going to be channeled towards cyclone Idai. And at the moment, we are at various stages of manufacturing those transformers to take to the eastern region, in support of what the government is doing at the moment. I'm sure you have seen that everyone is actually seized with that issue, and we are in support to that.
Now, the manufacture of transformers, I take it there are various components that go into that. How much of local industry are you using? I'm looking at you supporting local manufacturers of the various components that may go into the transformer, and therefore promoting downstream industries.
Okay. On a transformer, 90% of a transformer is imported products, and only 10% of a transformer is products that are manufactured locally.
Can we not twist it so that we have 10% import, 90% local?
If you look at TSP, the Transitional Stabilization Program, you will see that its mandate, what is trying to bring is that we should have more manufacturers of locally made products. Even if you look at companies like Zimbabwe, they're trying to do that. But what is happening is that on a transformer, most of the products that you find on the transformer, they are imported because they are not manufactured locally.
They can't be manufactured.
They can be manufactured locally, but at the moment we don't have manufacturers of those products in the country, so we import them. But we also do support companies that import for resale. We also support them because they sometimes where we cannot find foreign currency. So there are other people with the free funds. They can be able to import some of the components, then we can buy from them in local RTGS currency. So that has been happening. We've been doing that quite a lot to support the local companies that have free funds that can import components and then we can buy. So that has been happening. So if I'm to put percentage to it, I can say if you look at those who are importing and we are buying from them, maybe we can say 60% now. 60% of your transformer is imported, and then 40% is local.
We get stories of budding engineers coming up with all these interesting and exciting innovations in the area of electricity and electricity generation. How much are you working with institutions such as, for example, the Rudd Institute of Technology, the National University of Science and Technology, to come up with ways of ameliorating the shortage of foreign currency and therefore boosting your production?
We are actually talking to Rudd Institute of Technology, Engineer Garga, if I may to mention him. We are always together to try and see how best we can do our manufacturing from wholly locally manufactured products, locally manufactured components. I'll give you an example. In a transformer, we have bushings, what we call bushings, the ones that are on top of a transformer. Those ones, with the Rudd Institute of Technology, we are actually making headways into trying to manufacture them locally. So recently, we were at work, our engineers were looking at how they can start manufacturing. And they've done some prototypes, which we are currently testing internally before we take them out.
What about the theft of transformers? Is there any way that you could, I'm throwing this up, come up with a transformer that is not attractive to thieves?
That's a very good question, Lovemo. For vandalism, a transformer has a valve, has a valve underneath it, which thieves use to drain oil. Now, what we've done, just as a short-term measure, was to close that valve. So transformers no longer have that valve. We've closed it, so thieves cannot steal. That's number one. Number two, we've come up with a transformer called dry-type transformers, which doesn't use oil. We are also introducing what we call aluminium wound transformers. The transformers that are normally vandalized are those that are copper wound, because thieves want copper in the transformer. So now we're using aluminum wound transformers, which means we use aluminum inside the transformer. So it means it's not attractive because aluminum cannot be reused.
So your challenge now, I suppose, is to get this message to the thieves.
That's a very big challenge now, to say how can thieves know that we no longer use oil in the transformer. But I can tell you that most of these thieves, they are knowledgeable. They are knowledgeable thieves who know what a transformer is, who know what it is. So by me looking at it, they can tell that this is not a copper wound transformer. They can tell. Yeah.
Challenges bedeviling the Zimbabwe electricity sector and therefore impacting on the economy and affecting our very lives. We are discussing electricity on the Economic Forum. You want to join us in the third and final segment? Welcome to the third and final segment of Economic Forum, where we are talking to the ZESA Enterprises Acting Managing Director, Mr. Burusa Mandipezan. Before the break, we were talking about the advances that you are making in coming up with transformers that will withstand vandalism and, more importantly, theft. That speaks to me of R&D. Just how much thrust and the importance are you putting in research and development within ZESA? You have talked about working with other institutions, but within your organization itself?
Within our organization, we have set up an R&D department. Then within the group, with ZESA Holdings Group, We also have R&D departments in other subsidiaries. So the two sets of engineers have teamed up to see how best can they look at a transformer which can withstand the test of time in terms of vandalism, in terms of giving modern day signal to ensure that we minimize vandalism. I'll give you an example. Vision 2030, we are focusing that when we get to 2030, we want to support government by ensuring that a transformer, for argument's sake, will have a chip which can track it. If a thief comes, it can track that somebody is intruded. Yeah, we've also set up cameras, internal cameras or hidden cameras on transformers. Yeah, that are probably inside the transformer, welded inside the transformer, that can zoom in and zoom out what thieves could have been doing or could be doing on a transformer. So this is part of our support to government program on Vision 2030. And we expect that by that time we'll have that. And it's actually moving in a very fast manner. The
issue of transformers, we keep coming to it, and that's because it has really become more problematic within the Zimbabwe the economy, particularly also for consumers who are having the transformers vandalized, the transformers stolen. What is your advice to the ordinary consumer in terms of protecting transformers?
There are some things that we do on a transformer to protect it, and especially in vulnerable areas where we put barriers to a transformer. So I think, you know, in every situation, a thief has to find it difficult to steal. So it's not like we are barring a thief outrightly, but we are making it difficult. So we advise customers to say, on a transformer, you can talk to our sister company to say, how best can I ring fence a transformer through spikes to make sure that a thief will not just get into a transformer very easily. Yeah. Thieves don't want to steal where they take time to get out of it.
The consumer still has got challenges and complaints, particularly in terms of delays and lags in delivery of the product or the service. And with all these housing schemes coming up, what can consumers do to ensure that they get items such as transformers, for example, speedily?
In terms of what consumers can do, there are two ways. Firstly is to wait for us. They are on a program. We always have a program to say you are first, you are second, you are third, you are fourth. But if you feel that you are not comfortable with waiting in that program, consumers can actually buy transformers on their own. They can buy from our organization. We sell directly to consumers, those who want to be connected urgently. Yeah, I know government is trying to look at ways that we can also assist, but I think that will be communicated. Yeah.
What would you say have been your achievements so far?
I think our organization, in the last 5 years, I would say transformers that are manufactured, that are on the grid right now, we've supplied about 80% of those transformers, and we've also supplied in the region. Yeah, we've supplied in Mozambique, we've supplied in DRC, we've supplied in Zambia, in Lesotho, we've supplied in Malawi. And that is also earned the country foreign currency in excess of 8 million. If you look at the size of our organization, also looking at how we want to support the local industries, well, we've managed to supply in the region. We have also done about 8 high voltage substations in the country, which is a quite a big achievement, considering that most substations, especially the bigger ones, they're done from external companies. But we've done even the lines that I spoke about earlier on. We've constructed more than 100 kilometers of high and medium and low voltage lines in the country to support almost more than 2,300 households, those lines that we've done. So it's a very big achievement if you consider that this has been an area that has been managed by foreign companies also coming here to support, but we've done well.
Government has always put a huge store on the infrastructure and utilities cluster, and rightfully so, given your enabling power for the economy. And we see that there's always been emphasis on electricity, even in the Economic Structural Adjustment Program before and now in the Transitional Stabilization Program and in the 2 5-year development programs leading to Vision 2030. Mm-hmm. When will we know that ZENT has arrived?
for us to really measure ourselves and say we've achieved, we've arrived, it's when you come in, you walk into our shop, you walk into our premises, you pay for whatever service you want to get, and you come out with it. I think when that happens, we say we have arrived. But at the moment, if you come and pay for your transformer, for argument's sake, it will take us about 2 weeks for us to deliver it. We don't have ready-made transformers that you can just come and buy and you walk away. It will take us about 2 weeks for us to do that, but because of shortages of materials that I've mentioned earlier on. So for us, we expect that by 2030, Vision 2030, we expect it to be a company where a customer can just walk in and get a product and they leave. I think that's our measurement of achievement in 2030.
We have been discussing the challenge of electricity in the country and an organization that has been set up to provide services and products in that area. We're talking to Mr. Burusa Mandepezano. Mr. Mandepezano, thank you very much for coming on Economic Forum. It was good to have you on the program.
Thanks so much.
And for you at home, thank you very much for having watched the Economic Forum this evening. It was good to have you along.